Good evening, Richmond County, and welcome to another edition of the RO Sports Show brought to you by RO Yellow. Following 3 days of meetings between the 8 athletic directors of the Sandhills Athletic Conference, a modified schedule for the basketball season has been released. During the first 2 weeks of the season, several of the 8 schools in the SAC have seen COVID-19 protocols postpone or cancel games for both the girls and boys teams. Currently, the boys teams at Purnell Sweat in Scotland are quarantined through January 23rd. Richmond hasn't had a player or coach test positive during the regular season, but the Raiders and Lady Raiders have seen the last 2 games impacted by the virus. Last Friday's games at Pinecrest were canceled as a combination of COVID-19 protocols and inclement weather, and Tuesday's home openers were canceled against Jack Britt. These games will not be made up at a later date. According to Richmond Athletic Director Rob Ransom, the modified season for the SAC will officially begin the second round of conference play on January 22nd. The new slate will feature a 7-game conference schedule plus a conference tournament following the conclusion of the regular season. Back on the court for the first time in a week, the Richmond JV girls basketball team used a strong defensive effort to earn another win. Managing to avoid being shut down due to COVID-19 protocols, like the varsity team, the JV Lady Raiders cruised past Jack Britt 52-13 on the road. Sophomore Nyla Stroman led the Lady Raiders for the second time this season in points, netting a game-high 14. She scored 7 in each half following her 21-point performance in the season opener last week. Head coach Demi Watkins saw her team improve to 2-0 on the young season and credited the Lady Raiders' defense as a key to the win. To open the game, the Lady Raiders outscored Jack Britt 16-2 in the first quarter. 5 different players would find the hoop for Richmond, seeing Stroman and Stiles each score 5 points. Putting an exclamation point on the big road win, Richmond tacked on 14 points of insurance in the final 8 minutes of play. The North Carolina high school swimming and diving season officially opened back in mid-November, but a series of hiccups have yet to see Richmond Senior compete in a meet. While watching his team swim laps around Tuesday's practice, Mike Way couldn't help but comment on how much different the season looks than the previous 3. Way hopes that the hiccups will change this Saturday when the Sandhills Athletic Conference takes its 3rd crack at its season opener. One of Richmond's newest athletic programs, the boys and girls swimming teams, are entering their 4th season, all underway in assistant coach Andy Schuler. A developing program, this year's squads have taken a hit on personnel due to overlapping sports seasons. Instead of his usual 20 or so combined swimmers, Way is working with a limited roster of just a half dozen Richmond athletes this winter. At practice Tuesday, Way had 4 swimmers in the pool. When talking about the rest of the conference, Way said it's no secret that perennial powerhouses Jack Britt and Pinecrest are expected to be atop of the conference again this year. But he said he's having Richmond swimmers focus on being the best they can be in their respective events. The SAC has used the pool at St. Andrews University to host meets the last 3 years, but the pool is unavailable because of the pandemic protocols. Instead, this season's meets will be held at the Westover Aquatic Center in Fayetteville. Way said 2 teams will swim in an outdoor heated pool, in that a protective dome has been placed over the site to try and protect swimmers from the elements. The first 2 meets of the season, however, have been canceled because of issues with the pool's temperature and chemical levels. The familiar sound of soccer balls being kicked around the pitch made it official for its return to Richmond Senior on Monday. Third-year head coach Chris Larson and the Raiders soccer program held its first day of tryouts on the opening day of the Athletic Association's next sports season. Hopeful players for both the JV and varsity soccer teams battled a cold rain while wearing masks and practicing social distancing. The NCHSAA mandates that players and coaches must wear face coverings during all practices and games. A total of 28 players worked out for the JV squad, along with JV head coach Tad Hamilton and assistant Benny Howard. 19 upperclassmen participated in the varsity tryout, the first of 3 tryouts before the final team is posted. The soccer program will hold 2 more days of tryouts and begin practice on Thursday, which is today. Richmond's varsity team is tentatively scheduled for a scrimmage at Grays Creek on January 22nd at 6 p.m. The Raiders will play a shortened 14-game regular season starting at Purnell Sweat. Richmond will play 2 rounds against SAC opponents and look to make the postseason for the first time since 2018. That's going to wrap up another edition of the RO Sports Show, brought to you by RO Yellow. For the latest and breaking sports stories in Richmond County, you can always visit richmondobserver.com and click on the Sports tab. You can find some exclusive content across all RO Sports social media, and be sure to tune in for Ross at 5:30 every Thursday evening for your Raider wrap-up. In the meantime, I'm Russell Parker reporting from the Richmond studio in downtown Rockingham. Have a great week.